Hello there, friends and followers, and welcome to this live stream. This is Q8Pilot, your host for today's show, and today we are going to be taking a third and final look at the Magknight Boeing 787. Now, I've done a couple of reviews of the Magknight when it first came out, and later on, I think version 1.6 or 1.5, I can't recall. And at the time, of course, we are looking at an aircraft that is in the price range of the 40s, so it's about $45. So we are going to keep that in mind while we do this review. But first, I want to welcome all of you to the stream, and I want to give a lot of credit to the team, the development team behind the project, for their commitment and tenacity, and really for keeping going with this project. And I've seen this project since the inception until up to this point, and I must really give the development team a lot of credit on the work that they've done on this aircraft. But of course, on the Q8Pilot channel, you can always expect my honest and unbiased opinion, so that you guys can actually make a decision as to whether you want to invest in an add-on or not. Just as a point of reference in terms of price, this aircraft costs just, well, almost as much as the recently released Phenom 300 by Arabesque. So just so that you guys are in the right, you have a reference point to gauge how expensive this aircraft is. But having said this, I'm very pleased to let you guys know that a lot of the textures issues that I pointed out in my reviews, the previous reviews, have been fixed, at least on the exterior model. So the exterior model, I think, looks pretty reasonable. I wouldn't say that it is 100%. I wouldn't say that this is a highly detailed model of the 787, but it is reasonable for the price of the plane. I think it looks pretty good. The 3D model itself is quite representative of a Boeing 787. In almost, they still have those jagged lines here. The landing gear area maybe needs a little bit more work, but overall, I think it looks pretty good. I think they've done a good job modeling the aircraft, and over the updates, I think they've done a good job also introducing fixes and enhancements to the overall 3D model. Let's begin here by welcoming all of you guys. There's quite a bit of folks here today. Thank you guys for tuning in. We have one big Flappy. Good morning. Well, or good evening, depending on where you are. We've got Half Heart Gamer. Hello, my friend. Anthony. Is it Damso? We've got Even Omari. Hello there, my friend. I am David, Omer, David Joseph, Carl. Carl, how are you doing, my friend? Dougal. Thanks for being here today. Wish you a speedy recovery, my friend. Simlog TV. And we've got Noah Miller. Alex. Let's see here. We've got, is it Jesse or Jesse123? Hello there. Welcome, everyone, to the stream. Diego, hello there, my friend. Welcome. And we've got Nadareen, and let's see here. Who else? Oh, we've got a lot of new folks joining in. Stan, hello there, my friend. No Pizza, No Glory. Hello there, Aviation, Alex, Francisco. Welcome, everyone. Costa and Marshall Morgan. Hello there, Thomas Moore. Hello there, guys, and welcome. Thank you for being here tonight. Okay, so back to the Magknight. Now, the 3D model looks pretty good, I think. So I think it's worthy of the aircraft price. So we're hopping to the 3D cockpit, and in this version, they've made enhancements to the 3D cockpit textures, which I think they look pretty okay in terms of, the overhead panel, for one, looks good, I think, looks pretty acceptable in my view. Again, they've started using PBR, so you can see the reflective elements there. In terms of the sounds, so if we click on, I mean, they're okay. They're the standard sounds that you find on any other aircraft. So nothing really in terms of the sounds. The engine sounds you will hear momentarily as we start the aircraft engines. And we are going to be performing a full flight today from Copenhagen to Oslo in Norway. Again, I think they've done a reasonable job with the aircraft textures. They're not the high quality textures that you would expect, but they're pretty reasonable. I think they've updated them to an acceptable standard. I would say this, and you can open the emergency exit access now, and open the hatch. You can also open the aircraft door, and we can go to the cabin, passenger cabin, and again, happy to report that everything is modeled to an acceptable standard, as you can see here. There is one problem: is as soon as you open the passenger cabin, you hear the exterior sounds for some reason. But overall, I think they've done a pretty good job in terms of modeling the passenger cabin, and everything. So some nice details again in terms of the. You can see the signs on the lavatory. So overall, I think they've done a reasonable job in the 3D modeling and texture department. If I were to rate the 3D modeling overall, I would probably give it a 6 out of 10 as a total score, which is a good score in my view. But let's go ahead and take a look at the aircraft systems, and we're going to be setting up the aircraft from its cold and dark state. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to head over here to the overhead panel, which I think, by the way, looks pretty good when compared to all the previous versions. And we are going to start with the battery. So battery is on. And let's see here, APU gens. Let's go ahead and start the APU. Start. And we're going to turn on the AC buses. And we're going to let the aircraft take its own sweet time. And let's see here. What have we got here? Actually, we can leave everything else while the APU starts. Yeah. All right. So we're going to head over to the EFB and power it on. And the first thing, we're going to go to aircraft configuration. And we are going to bring up our Sim Toolkit Pro flight plan. And let's see here. All right, so we can go to the operational flight plan, and we are going to take a look at the number of passengers. Now, 349, I'm not sure why you can't put 349, so the maximum is 262. So that's fine. We can always change the zero fuel weight to 369. So we're going to do that. Even that actually can't do. So, yeah. All right, well, I'm going to worry about the fuel at this point. 23.2, that's in pounds. 23.6, that's good enough. Galley, we can say shorts, crew. Why not? We'll add 4 crew members and 12 cabin crew. Passengers, we'll just leave that alone. We'll leave the cargo alone. The fuel is 23.6. And by the way, we can use the uplink loadout. So it says SimBrief uplink. It's completed and done. We'll take a look at that in a minute. And we're going to say load aircraft. Now we can initialize the flight. And now we can go to performance. So let's go to performance. The airport info, copy. All right, so let's go to the FMC real quick. And we're going to go to initial reference. I think it's there. Yeah. So the origin airport is Echo Kilo Charlie Hotel. And the destination airport, by the way, this is the default FMC. So there is no custom FMC yet. And we are heading over to Echo November Golf Mike. Flight number today is, so we're flying this Norwegian air shuttle, and where is it? November Alpha X-ray 2574, and we stick that here and execute. And then we can go to back here and we say still doesn't want to. All right, well, let's just go ahead and put Echo Kilo Charlie Hotel and runway 30 for departure. Wind is, see the wind, so 258 knots. 250 and 8 knots. Oh, come on. 250 8. Outside temperature is 7 degrees Celsius, which is, it matches about 6, it says 6 here. So this one is picking up from X-Plane. And QNH is 1013, which is, that's fine. I'll leave it as it is. Ah, it's here in kilos. That's why the numbers are off. All right, let me go to the settings and change this to pounds. All right. You know what? Let's go ahead and take a look here. And now you can put more passengers into the aircraft, I suppose. All right. All right, we're going to leave it. That's perfectly okay. 23. So now everything is in pounds. Yeah. Fuel is good. And we'll say okay. All right. So let's see here. Anyone's EFB also not working? Specifically when you want to calculate V-speeds. So Anthony, the issue that you're probably having is that the takeoff weight needs to be manually entered. And if you just simply click on calculate, that number does not get updated. So you have to actually manually take that number and stick it in there. I will show you how this works in just a moment. All right, so we're going to go now to performance, and everything looks good here. Everything looks good here. Now this is not the correct takeoff weight, so we're going to come back here to the aircraft configuration, and we're going to take a note of the takeoff weight. So this is the takeoff 365.4. All right. So if you go back here, and we're going to say 365, 400, and whoop, what did I do there? All right. Now, we should be able to calculate the V-speeds. As you can see now, it gives us flaps 5, runway 30, and all the relevant information, V1, VR, V2, all of that good stuff. I'm not sure why they haven't fixed this over the updates, but yeah, this is definitely an issue that needs to be fixed. All right, so let's head back over here now, and we can start entering our flight plan. So as you can see, the flight plan is quite simple. We're going to be departing runway 30 through the Vidar 1 Charlie to Vidar transition. Then we're going to take airway Lima 997 to Lunup, and then it's the Luni Papa for Lima star into Oslo, runway 01 left, and we're going to be performing an ILS approach. All right, let's see. Please turn off XP realistic. Why is it causing issues or interfering with the sounds? Alex, you get what you pay for, I guess. I bought the 787 full, well, knowing it would be years for it to finally get up to par. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to go to the, let's see, we're going to go to departures, and the departure today, as you can see, runway 30. So we are going to go down here and select runway 30, and then we're going to go to the next page, and it's the VIDA 2. For some reason, all right, let me remove that and see if I can find the previous VIDA 1 Charlie. It says no active runway for VIDA 1 Charlie. All right, there we go. Select, execute. All right, looks like, you know, some just clear weird things. All right. So if we go to the next page, do we have the departure now? Very, very strange. All right. We are going to depart runway 30. I'm not sure why we can't get the what. We'll select the closest one at least. And that should be fine. By the way, I think we need to turn these guys on. And let's see here. Let's take a look at the control panel real quick. All right, let's do our quick setup here just before we continue with the flight plan. We're going to turn these on, turn the primaries on. Let's go ahead and turn on the hydraulics. Passenger signs to auto. And let's see. All right, we'll go ahead and turn the fuel. That's fine. Nav lights can go on. And not sure what this humid thing does. Air conditioning. Recirc fans. Left pack, trim air. Pressurization is fine. And everything else looks good. I'm not sure why I can't hear the air conditioning system. The sounds aren't that great with this aircraft anyway, but yeah. Alrighty. Alright, let's head over back to the FMC. And we are going to go to RTE and next page. So, Alright, so it takes us to the right transition there. So that's fine. And then we're going to take Lima 997. Lima 997. And we are going to exit at Lunup. And then it's our arrival. So let's execute that and go to the arrival page. Now the arrival is the Luni Papa 4 Lima. Let's see if we can find that at least. That's the one. And it's ILS 01 left. And let's just take a look and see which transition, if any, it's the INSOV transition. Selected. And now we go to the Lex page and we check for discos and there are none. So we are good there. We're going to go to VNAV. Cruise altitude today is going to be 36,000 feet, 360. Unable 11,000, and well, we'll worry about that later once we're up in the air. We can reduce, well, leave it, it's fine. Transition altitude here at, no, so is this the transition here at Copenhagen, or is it the transition at Oslo? VNAV descent, transition altitude is 4,000 at Oslo and 5,000 at 5,000 here at Copenhagen. So we'll just put 4,000. That's perfectly fine. All right. So we are done with the FMC. We're done with everything here. So we're going to go ahead and turn on our beacon lights. And we're going to set the altitude to 36,000 feet. Done. Flight directors, we're going to turn on both sides. And let me go ahead and close the cabin door. That should help us get rid of the XP realistic sounds. All right, let's put this away. Right, let me take a look here at the chat. Rand, hello there, my friend. Welcome. Oslo transition. Are good with this update. Yeah, I do agree that the textures have improved quite a bit. The cockpit textures look all right. I'm looking forward to seeing the autopilot handle vertical navigation. Freezy Q, hi Q8. Hello there, my friend. Black and Red, hello there, my friend, and welcome to the stream. All right, so we are now ready. Our flight plan looks good. Here we can take a look at the flight plan, and we can step through and take a look at our flight plan, what it looks like. It's quite straightforward into Oslo, as you can see here. All right. All right, now there are a few things I want to show you guys, because I think the guys at Magknight have done some really good work on this aircraft. And so I do want to show you what they've done here. So if you go to the system, again, you can see that the all these pages are modeled, well, at least some of them, to an acceptable level of detail. Again, so in terms of the simulation, I think they've done a good job. Electrical, hydraulics, fuel, air, doors, gear, and flight control, EFIS display. So you've got, you know, your EFIS display here, and now they're not all, you can't use all of them, but at least some of them you can't. Maintenance doesn't work for some reason, so I guess these are for future updates. But you can see them, they're probably not modeled, so they're probably static. I'm not sure, I haven't tested this yet, but it looks like they've done some work there. If you go to checklist, so there is a checklist, and I think you can get it from, I'm not sure why I'm not getting, there we go. So you have also some cabin, so we can do like a welcome video.
Welcome aboard this Norwegian flight. You're now sitting in our 787 Dreamliner. Not only will this plane get you to your destination faster than most others, it also spends less fuel
also,
on the way.
if we go to
That's
the
good
flight
news,
information,
both for the environment and
if
your
you go to
wallet.
the manager
Because
here,
when we spend
it's
less on
equipped with an
fuel,
ACAR
you
system.
spend less on your ticket.
So if you click
But
here,
you
as you
probably
can see,
already
we
know
have the
this.
call sign and all
Here's
of that
some other
information.
useful
Of course, if
information
you
about this
need
plane
more,
and
if
everything
you
in
need
it.
to figure out how to use this,
For instance,
please
the fact
consult
that this
the
plane has
aircraft
8 toilets. There are 2
documentation,
in the
which is
back,
available
4 in the
online.
middle, and 2
Now,
in the
another
front.
thing is, I'm not sure why they don't ship anything
Then there's the
with
luggage.
the
We
actual
thought you'd
aircraft.
appreciate
So
easy
to
access
me,
to your
that's a
belongings
big
during the
no-no.
flight. So we
When you
built the
ship an
compartments with
aircraft,
actual luggage in
a
mind.
payware aircraft,
Bottom
it
line,
needs to have a
there's lot of
manual
room for
in
your
the
stuff.
manuals folder. And it needs to be, at least gives you, you know, the ropes
Chances are you'll
of
have
using
plenty
the
of time
aircraft,
to stare
perhaps
out the window, if
performance,
that's what you want.
quick start,
Good thing we
quick
made
start
the view
tutorial,
65%
something
better
of that
than by
nature, or
resizing the
normal
windows.
checklist,
And there's
something
no
like.
more
But they've
hiding
integrated
from
the
the sun
checklist
either
here,
with the spanking
so
new
you can
Welcome to
use
the
it. I'm not
Future
sure why it's not coming now,
electrochromatic
but
dimming
they
system,
have
or
integrated
sunglasses
a
mode for
checklist
short.
into
Go ahead,
the
try it
aircraft.
out. It's pretty
So
fun.
if we go to flight information, now if you're actually flying on VATSIM, this is very useful. Now here if we do an ATIS request and we do send and go to the message that says currently no ATIS available, that's because we are not connected. But for example, if we do like a METAR request of here, let's do send.
In addition, the screen controls your
and we go, and now as you can see, we have the METAR information for Copenhagen, which is kind of a cool feature. So I think they've done quite a bit of work there to improve really the level of simulation and really make this aircraft worth its price. So definitely a lot of work that has gone into this update for sure.
Map flying on any aircraft. Browse through points of interest.
The Aviator edition, yes, this is the Aviator edition of the plane.
In case you need to charge your
All right,
phone, tablet, or
so
laptop,
we are done with this here. What we're going to do now is we are going to plan the pushback, our position up. Before we do that, let's take a note of our V speeds. And our trim, takeoff trim is 5.25. So hopefully if we go here, once we probably start the aircraft, we can see it. But we do have our V2, which is 153. So let's set that to 153.
To be way more comfortable than the ones you're
All
probably
right,
used
so
to.
153 is set.
Means better, fresher, cleaner air and less jet lag.
Beacon light is on.
The
So let's go ahead
787
and call the
Dreamliner is
pushback
equipped
truck.
with smart lighting for reducing jet lag.
Ground to cockpit, please show me where you want to go.
Right, we're gonna do about right there. Looks okay to me.
Ground to cockpit,
Better air,
always driving
better
up.
light, more jet,
All right.
less lag.
So here's the pushback truck. By the way, this scenery of Copenhagen is that of Fly Tampa. And again, of course, all the commands are available to you in the chat. Just type exclamation DEP for departure, and you should get the link to the airport, and the same goes for the destination. Just simply type exclamation, then ARR, and you will get the destination airport name and link. Air France, X-Plane 11. Doors, sir. Yes, sir. Well, the doors are closed,
Okay,
sir.
all doors and hatches are closed.
So if we go to the
Ready
doors
to
page, all doors are closed. And we should be able to start our engines momentarily. By the way, this aircraft is pretty friendly on FPS, so I haven't really seen anything that suggests otherwise. And we're just going to wait for, let's set this to runway heading, which is 300. There we go. Runway heading is set.
So connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
All right, parking brake. Let's remove the, so we can see here what's going on as well. All right, parking brake is released.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
All right, perfect. So we have clearance to start our engines. So we are going, now with the 787, you don't really start and then wait. You just actually start both of them and you introduce fuel. That's how it's done. So we are just going to do exactly that. And now you can see the engine spooling. The sounds on this aircraft is something that needs some serious work, and there is a custom sound pack for the 787, which is a freeware you can download from the X-Plane.org. But again, an aircraft, you know, at this price range, I think should have some decent sounds to begin with, which I hope you know, the guys at Magknight would consider it in their next update. Your rudders are twitching. Yes, the rudders are twitching because of the tow truck for some reason. And they do that until, you know, yeah, they're kind of nervous. They would actually do that until the tow truck is disconnected. I think it looks pretty good. All right. Auto brake on rejected takeoff, and we have a good start on our engines. Let's see here. Hello, when I use Vulkan, I have blurry textures for
Operation complete.
each airport.
Set parking brake.
Scott, thank you very much for your donation of $10. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. All right, let's set the parking brake. Parking brake is set.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
All right. Okay, so let's take a look here, see what needs to be configured. Looks like everything looks good to me. Yeah. All is good. All is good here. All is good there. And then we can turn the APU off. It says fault. Oh well. This airport is one of my favorites. By the way, that's our runway right over there.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
The engines are modeled quite nicely. Alrighty, we are ready to go. So we are going to turn on the taxi light and runway turn off lights. Wing lights, yeah. And then we're going to come back here and we're going to go to... No, that's... Alright, so let's do one thing. Let's put the legs page here. And... yeah. So now we can play the safety video, but I'm not going to do that. But you have... by the way, there are some custom sound packs available for different airliners. So for different airlines, beg your pardon. What is saying wing anti-ice off? Yes, it is. And it's going to stay that way. There we go. All right, APU, doors auto, seats belts on, everything is good. All right, full up, full down, full left, full right, pedal, full left, full right. It's good. Tow is modeled now as well. That's one of the new updates, is the tow brake is now also, the animation is actually modeled now. So that's kind of cool. All right, let's set flaps 5. Flaps 5 are set. We're going to engage LNAV and VNAV. And let's head over to the runway. Let's give it some power. So what do you guys think? How would you rate the aircraft on a scale from 0 to 10? What would be your assessment, folks? I'm very interested to know what you guys think. Wow, is it raining? It looks like it is. not sure what I've done there. Where's my turn? Ah, my turn is right there. We missed it. There we go. Looks like it's raining here in Copenhagen. All right, everything looks good here. Yeah, I think the textures are quite reasonable now, and I rated 2 out of 10. I think that's a little harsh, if I may. I seriously don't think it's a 2 out of 10. With all the stuff that they've modeled and all the updates that they brought into the aircraft, I agree it's not perfect. But yeah, I will reserve my final comments. I think until we land at Oslo. But yeah, definitely 2 out of 10 is not a fair rating in my view. Simply Bob rates it at 6. Yeah, I think the textures can be better, for sure. That's our runway. Not sure what that is, but that's the runway. So
approaching 30.
All right, let's make a final stop here, folks, and I'm gonna set the parking brake here and turn on the landing lights. Strobe is on. And everything else looks good. All right, release parking brake. Let's give it some power.
On runway 30.
All right, we're good to go, ladies and gentlemen. And Toga. Well, Toga doesn't seem to be working. Wow, I have full right rudder right now. Not sure why the Toga doesn't work.
Rotate. Positive rate.
Gears going up. Thousand feet. And we're going to begin retracting the flaps. And flaps are up. We can do climb. Let me engage the autopilot. So autopilot is now engaged. And you can see that there is some heavy rain out there. Wow. And everything else looks good to me. 250 knots, and we're climbing now to 36,000. All right, so now we can have a better look at the textures. As you can see here, I think they're pretty good. They could use some work in some areas, but overall I think they've done a very good job with the textures in this version. Yeah, not bad, not bad. Right, let me... Got wing flex. Yeah, you know what? I'm not sure if it's got wing flex or not. I haven't checked. Do you have a special pack for the sound? There is a special pack if you just just go to Google and type Magknight 787 sound pack. It's probably the first result. I think this aircraft is 10,000 feet. Let's turn off the landing lights. I'll tell you guys, in all honesty, I think the aircraft now, with this update, is worth its price, to be very, very frank. It needs some work in some areas, but I think for the asking price, I think it's okay. Maybe slightly overpriced, but not by much. So maybe if I were to put this aircraft for sale on the org store, I would probably put it for $35, but no more than that. So still a little bit overpriced, but I think it is now to the point, I think it's been updated to the point and improved to the point where you can actually enjoy it. So yeah, it's not a study level by any chance, but it's a reasonable representation, I think, of and of course the only point of reference for me is the quality wings 787 for P3D. So that's what I'm comparing this aircraft to. Yeah, I think overall I think it's pretty good. What would be my final rating of this aircraft? Yeah, I'm itching. I can't wait until we land. But I will tell you, I rate this aircraft a 6 out of 10. That's what I would give it. So it would not receive any of my of the Q8Pilot awards, which starts normally at 7. So there's a bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. So this one is not qualified yet for any of the Q8Pilot awards, but it is the only 787 today available for Explain. It is enjoyable, maybe a little bit overpriced in my view. I think a fair price for this aircraft would be in the vicinity of $30 to $35 max. But yeah, I think definitely lots of new improvements. Lots of updates. The project is pretty much alive. It's got a dedicated team behind it. So considering all of that, I think, yeah, it is an aircraft that that is probably worth $35. That's what I would say at this point. Believe it when I see it. They promise year after year and haven't delivered, if they ever will. Yeah, I would say Bad Attitude says instant buy on 35. I would say to that, yes sir. If this the price of this aircraft is reduced to $35, I think it would be a good buy, to be honest. I think it would be worth its price. But at $45, you know, just if we consider, for example, if the Phenom 300 by Airbus, which is a, you know, very well polished, finished aircraft, again, very, very immersive in all departments in terms of the system simulation, the flight model, the sounds, and it's priced at $49. Now, I've been getting a lot of questions on the Just Flight 146, whether it's worth its price or not, and I will be dedicating a video or a live stream for that aircraft, and we'll be discussing, you know, the price and all that good stuff. So I will reserve my comments on that aircraft until we do that video. Custom FMC and ND is looking very hopeful for 1.8. Well, I think if a custom FMC is introduced, then definitely, you know, the current price might be, I don't know, might be justified, but just from this, you know, considering the aircraft in this state, I think it's no more than 35. I would justify current price if they made their own custom FMC logic. Yes, I would agree with that. Q8 Pilot, what's the best payware plane for X-Plane 11? Well, there are plenty. So I don't have specifically one aircraft that is the best aircraft, but I will tell you that, for example, the IXCG 737 is a great add-on. The Tolus A321 and A319, the RotateSim MD80. I don't want to forget anything, but the Fly JSIM is an absolute must-have, especially their 727. The 727 is one aircraft that I would highly recommend. Very immersive, very well done, just really a joy to fly. And then, of course, you've got the Flight Factor A320 is again a very good add-on to have for X-Plane. And there's, of course, a series of general aviation aircraft. So those are the airliners, but in terms of the GA aircraft, you've got plenty of excellent, you know, study level general aviation aircraft. The TBM 900, for example, by the Hotstart TBM, and then you've got the TorqueSim range of aircraft. You've got the Airfoil Labs Cessna 172 and the King Air 350. You've got the V-Flight Air, Piper Arrow, and Just Fly, a lot. There is really a ton of excellent aircraft for X-Plane 11. We're closing in at our final cruise altitude of 36,000 feet. Let's head over here to the, let's see here. Not sure what's going on here. That's checklist info. There we go. And legs. Yep. So we're, by the way, this is a short flight, so we're not too far from the top of descent. So we'll be reaching our final cruise altitude momentarily, and then, of course, not too long after that, we will begin our descent into Oslo. Now, in order for you to configure it on the real 787, or at least, again, my point of reference is the Quality Wings aircraft, the ILS frequency is automatically picked up by the flight management computer. However, in this aircraft, you have to manually go to the radios and enter it. So we have to go to the nav radios here, and we need to change the frequency and the course for our runway. So we'll do that once we reach our cruise altitude. That's yeah, this is the top of descent, as you can see here. So we're looking all right. $1,000 to go. What do you think about the Flight Factor 777? Well, the Flight Factor 777, I call it the abandoned project. The 777 could be one of the best for X-Plane, but unfortunately, no updates have been introduced to the aircraft, and as such, it is not an aircraft that I would recommend. It's quite dated. It needs a lot of work. There are some mods, so there are some sound mods and some texture mods that you can apply to the aircraft and make it a little more enjoyable, but it is by no means a study level aircraft. To me, it's not very immersive. It looks good. If you like to fly a 777, then there is one, and it looks all right. But other than that, you know, it's not really it's not an aircraft that I would recommend, especially not at the price that it currently holds. Well, yeah, V2 is work in progress, but it has been work in progress for ages. So yeah, and version 2, by the way, is not an upgrade of the existing. I believe it's a completely brand new aircraft. That's what I heard. I could be mistaken, but it's probably a new one. Last 777 update was in 1955. That's a good joke, James. Yeah, Flight Factor A320 is very nice aircraft, but expensive. Yeah, it is expensive. But it's a study level simulation. Again, it's a very well made aircraft, and by account of a real world Airbus pilot, you know, it is an excellent aircraft. I'm considering the 145 Embraer 145. Is it worth it? By X-Crafts, I think it's reasonably priced. I wouldn't purchase the entire family. I would just purchase one of them. But yeah, I think it's worth its price, and I will be doing a video on it very soon. Let's see here, the thoughts about Boeing 767 extended. The 767 and the 757 both are aircraft that are well made, in my view. The system, again, deep system simulation, a lot of work that has gone into those aircraft. Are they study level? I don't know. I haven't heard any real-world pilot indicate so, but definitely in terms of the system simulation, there is a lot of depth into them, and with the new FDS upgrade, whatever that is, I think introduces a lot of new features into the aircraft. So I think, yeah, I would those aircraft I would definitely recommend. And by the way, I wouldn't recommend that you buy both of them. I would recommend that you get either the 767 or the 757, but not both. AQ8, I'm currently flying the Zibo 737, the Phenom 300 mostly. I want to do some more long-haul flights, 7 or more hours. I'm doubting which plane to get. What do you recommend? Well, you have the A321 by Tolus. That's one you can get for sure. They will never be 100% by the book study level aircraft unless Boeing or Airbus, of course. That I would agree with 100%. And of course, just remember, guys, that there are a lot of limitation in the sim itself. So there are some things that are limited by the actual platform, and some things can't be simulated. But nonetheless, you know, I love it when the developers actually take the time to go and search for somebody who owns the aircraft, and they actually get a real-world pilot, and they sit with them, and they really study the aircraft. And by the way, this is what Just Flight has done with their 146. So there was an actual 146 that is out of service, and they spoke to the owner, and they gave him access to it, and they actually sat with the pilot, and he explained to them all the details, every little detail about every switch in the aircraft and what the switch does. Similar things with the Phenom, for example. I think you guys, whoever was on the stream that day, you heard Guillaume telling us that, you know, what they went through in order to record the aircraft sounds. So that level of dedication is something I personally have a lot of appreciation for. And it always shows, you know, it reflects back on the quality of the add-on. So yes, there are a lot of limitations. There are some information that probably developers do not have access to, and probably they would never have access to due to, you know, like trade secrets and things like that, NDAs and, you know, legal stuff, for sure. But knowing that, you know, some developers take the extra mile and go and try to get it is something to be appreciated, I think. Alrighty, let's take a look here and see program. Alright, so top of descent in about 38 nautical miles, and the platform altitude is, let's see. So platform altitude is 3,500 feet. By the way, if we come here to performance, we should get the landing now. And landing 01, left is the landing. And we can go to Sim Toolkit Pro, and we can take a look at our destination, and we'll take a look at the weather information. The wind is, let's see, 367 knots, 360 and 7 knots. And outside temperature is 8 Celsius. And QNH is 0999. And that is done. Flaps 30. Anti-ice should be off. That's fine. Full reverse. Spoilers auto. Auto brake 2. And that's it. Right. So the landing weight is something we can get here from the aircraft configuration. And if we go to landing weight, 354.3. Right. Let's go 354. Let's say 354. And calculate. So that is en route landing data for this is VREF 30 plus 5. So about 146. And VREF 30 is 136. All right. Perfect. So all is good. Let's go ahead and reset the MCP altitude to 3,500. And let's take a look here. Program. 19 nautical miles for top of descent, so we're getting closer now. What are you using flight planning app? I use I use Sim Toolkit Pro, and Sim Toolkit Pro is fully integrated with SimBrief. I find Sim Toolkit Pro to be the best flight planning tool available today for flight simulation. It is by far really the best app out there. It's all inclusive. It's got everything you need all in one place. Integration with SimBrief, Navigraph. It's got all the you know, charts. Everything you need is available. So look no further than Sim Toolkit Pro. I got to go out for school. Bye. Oh, okay. Enjoy. Quality Wings 787. Happy studying. Quality Wings 787 is better. Oh yeah, of course, by far. By far. The Quality Wings aircraft is much, much better than this one. Press Alt Hold before TD so it will descend along the VNAV path. Alt Hold. Let's see here. Where is Alt Hold? Is it this one? No. Can't be. So Alt Hold is pressed. And hopefully it would start the descent automatically in 6 nautical miles. Here again you can see better look at the texture work, which is reasonable. Yeah, I think they've done an okay job there. Alright, so we pressed it. We'll see what happens. And there is the automatic descent now to our platform altitude. By the way, it does some funny things here. So the power, see, it went all the way to idle, went back up. And I don't think that this is right, the way it just does it. Not sure, I could be mistaken. But I would actually be very interested to hear what V1 or Flight Deck Systems say about this aircraft, since they are real-world pilots. And I would be interested to hear their opinion. From my perspective, guys, I will say this. At $45, I think for some of you who purchase this aircraft, it will be a disappointment. I will say that. But at $35, I don't think that you will be disappointed with this aircraft. I think it will be fine. But if a custom FMC is introduced, then probably, you know, a $45 would be justified. I've had it for 2 years. Oh, wow. Well, what do you think of it, Ruben, if you've had it for 2 years, and I'm sure that you went through all the... honestly, with the improvement, it's showing I'd get it. Well, I mean, I'm glad that you, you know, that's your decision. And if you decided that, you know, the aircraft is for you and it's well worth the investment, please, by all means, go ahead and get it. And I would definitely help support the developers that are working on this aircraft and are very dedicated. Yeah, it's the price of, yeah, average price for lunch. I agree. But look, I'll tell you, so when I speak about the prices, now for me, for example, $10 is 3 KD in the Kuwaiti dinar currency. Okay, so 3 KD is
very
really
good
nothing.
Evening from Switzerland. Been a quiet sub since your 2018. Just wanted to share my support for your content. Many thanks for everything. Best regards.
Luca, thank you very much for your donation of $5.50. I really appreciate your support, and thank you for your kind words. That's very, very generous and very kind of you. Thank you very much. So just guys on the pricing. First of all, I look at the aircraft prices in the same range, and I look at the quality of those aircraft. That's one. Two, I consider if you look at the analytics of the channel, you'd see that there are very young people who actually watch the channel. So those guys are more than likely students. They're probably very young. So you're looking at people in the age of 14 up to 14, 15, 16. And those are the kind of guys that probably can't afford, or $10 would make a big difference for them. So yes, I do agree that for maybe the largest majority of us, $10 isn't that much. But when I state my opinions on the price, I take into consideration the full audience of the flight simulation community. I don't just take a look at those who can obviously afford it. And by the way, I purchase almost all the add-ons that I review on the channel, and where I actually get a free preview copy from the developer, I specifically and explicitly state that this has been given to me by the developer. But by no means it keeps me back from saying what I actually think about the add-on, and that's what I'm accustomed to. And I make it very clear to the developers, and I think most of them actually now know when they give me the review copy, they say, you're free to say whatever you want, because otherwise I just go and buy it and say whatever I want. So yeah. And I think over the years, folks, I think just from the feedback I received from the community, I think I've done a fairly good job reviewing aircrafts. I think I've been critical of some. I've been less critical of others where I think they deserved more critique from my side. I will admit that. And in some cases, I've also taken into consideration that I do not want to demotivate the developers who are working on a project, and that's the last thing I would want to do, because this is the amount of developers in this community is very small, and it is really a niche community. I mean, the hobby is a very niche hobby, and so I do want to encourage the developers as much as I can. I do donate a lot to those who provide freeware add-ons such as Zebo, SimToolkit Pro. Those guys really deserve all the support, and yeah, I do provide them with the support where I can. Yeah. Thank you for the Phenom 300. Oh, you're most welcome. I hope that you're enjoying it. Do a cabin tour with the RGB lighting. I'm not sure how to get this RGB lighting, but let's go to the menu here. Is it somewhere here? I honestly don't know where the RGB lighting thing is, but yeah, I've seen some pictures of it. I'm not too fond of, cabins and passenger cabins. I very rarely go to the passenger cabin, but I do it for some views and things like that. Let's take a look at the external view here. Tell you, this is a nice looking scene. Dome, this one here? Alright. Ah, there we go. Wow. This looks pretty good, huh? Yeah. Yeah, it looks nice. Alright, we continue our descent. We're still looking good. If we take a look here, we need to be at 290, flight level 19300. So I think we're good. We're doing pretty okay in terms of our altitude. Speed is good. All's looking good. Alright, so folks, let's go ahead and grab the ILS frequency. So we're going to come here, and if we go to arrival details, the ILS frequency is 110.3. We need to come here to the nav radios, and we're going to put 110.3 here. So 110.3, and nav 1 is now set, and the approach course is let's see here, course is 12 degrees. 1, 2, and course 1, 0, 1, 2. All right, so we're done now. ILS frequency is set, and we are good. And we continue our descent, and we're looking good for the approach at Oslo. Some developers don't have the money to fully fund development for that long. I agree. Yes, sir. The FMC is the default X-Plane 11 FMC. That is correct, yes. Well, guys, I was actually going to run a poll to ask you guys whether you prefer, when I do the giveaways, whether you prefer gift certificates at the X-Plane.org store or at the Sim Market store. If you actually can tell me, I would, or maybe I can do both. So I can do Sim Market and X-Plane.org, and I can give you the choice, perhaps. But if you guys, if the majority prefers Sim Market, then that's what we'll do. Because I have received a lot of requests from you guys via email, asking me, why am I always, giving gift certificate at the X-Plane.org store? Maybe we don't want to use, the X-Plane add-on. So yeah, that's perfectly fine with me. If that's what you guys want, then that's what I'll do. XP.org store would be my preference. Okay. Maybe what I'll do moving forward is I will give you guys the choice. So I'll let you guys let me know, where do you prefer to get the gift certificate from. All right, so we are at 15,000 feet. We are looking good. Let's head back over to the legs page right here. We need to be above 12,000, which I think we are fine. And remember, the transition altitude for Oslo is 4,000 feet. And let's just take a quick note of the transition altitude, which is QNH is 0.999er. By the way, visibility and clouds and visibility okay at Oslo Airport according to the METAR information. So we're looking good there. And if we go to takeoff, let's see what this is, in-flight service.
Ladies and gentlemen, please sit back and we'll tell you everything you need to know about the service on board. It's a bit different from other airlines. We hope you like it. For those of you that have pre-ordered meals, our crew will start serving meals and drinks shortly. First, you'll be served a hot meal, water, one beverage of choice,
Zachary, Q8, yes sir.
right before we land,
Steve,
there will be a
hey
cold
mate,
meal
what do you
serving to
think
top you
about
off.
the SSG
Those of you that haven't pre-ordered
E195-161?
anything
Is
will
it
be
worth
able
it?
to order from
Appreciate
our
your
snack
help.
bar. The snack bar is situated
I
in the
think
screen in front of you and offers a range of snacks and
the
drinks.
SSG
Just choose what you
E195
would like on
is a good
screen,
aircraft,
and we'll bring your order to your
but I will
seat.
reserve
The snack bar
my
opens
comments
in a
on a
couple of
full
hours
review
after
video
first serving is complete.
for the new update.
So after following for what 8 years now, I can say that you are my most trusted reviewer
If
with
immigration cards are needed where you're
ethics,
going,
integrity.
our crew will
If you
pass them
like
out
an
for you to
AC,
fill out
ill
shortly.
buy it, and for
Wanna
those
know more
asking
about how
if
to
you have
complete these
questions
cards? There's an immigration
about
movie
an
for your
AC, just
destination
search
available
Q8's
from your
YouTube
screen
channel.
menu.
Take care, my
Of course, our
friend.
crew is also ready
Oh,
to
thank you
answer
very
any
much,
questions.
Rand, for your
To
donation. I
contact
really
our crew,
appreciate
just
it,
use the call
and I
attendant
appreciate your
button.
kind
You may
words
have
as
noticed
well.
it's not over your head anymore.
You've been
It's right
really
there on your screen.
such a great,
Please don't hesitate to use it
such
if
great
there is
support
anything
for
at
the
all.
channel, and
That's all
an
for
inspiration
now.
for
Again,
me
thank you for
personally.
your
So thank you
attention
for
and
everything
enjoy
you've
the
done for
flight.
me, both at the professional and personal levels. I appreciate it, my friend. Enjoyable, and yeah, once a custom FMC and a few more things like the sounds and maybe some of the textures on the exterior are fixed, I think it becomes a very very immersive aircraft. Still needs work, but I think they've done quite a bit really to bring this aircraft to this level. So I'm very happy with what they've done with the aircraft. Right, we are approaching 10,000 feet, and we can see the speed is 220 now. And the file so the approach speed is 136. And here we go, we continue the descent again. I'll told before TD on VNAV. Good afternoon. They seem to be the most stable in their FMCs, and programming aren't that hard. Do you use XP Realistic version 2? Yes, Dylan, I do. So I don't think that pressing Alt hold is how you would descend. No, I don't think so. I think it by the way, I think it's automatic. But you can use flight change. So why are we... so I think there is a restriction there at 11,000. Alrighty. Hey Q8, I'm a fan, and I wanted to say thanks for your videos. Helped me fly all types of planes. Magknight 77 does it descend auto? Yes, it does. I don't know. I'm new to yes. So you can. It will descend automatically, as you've seen in this video. All you have to do is reset the MCP altitude. And thank you guys for letting me know that you need to press the Alt hold button in order to have the aircraft descend along the VNAV path. So thanks for that. And looks like there's the restriction still applies here at 11,000 feet. And then we should begin the descent to our platform altitude, which is 3,500 feet today. I see SFD Global is doing its thing again. Nice. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I've tried X Ambience. I didn't personally like it. So I'm not sure about the updates. I would need to take a look at it. But the initial version that came out, I didn't personally prefer that much. Yeah, definitely the auto throttle movement is... Oh, so normally you wouldn't fly? You don't fly that whole approach into Oslo. They usually try to cut the fan as much as possible. Oh, is that so? Well, I actually didn't know that. You know what? I'm not sure what's going on. But this aircraft needs to start descending. Alright, 10,000 feet. Let's turn on the lights. Looks like we're too high. You can see here from the needle that we're too high. But I mean, needle looks like is moving up slightly, so hopefully we'll be fine. Yeah, we'll see. Can anyone donate me a Tolos A319? What plugins do you have? Well, I'll tell you, I can do a full video on my plugins, but if I go to the plugins here, this is what I've got. I've got ground handling, X80C chatter, realistic, XPUI PC, X checklist, airfoils, that's of course for the King Air, AviTap, better pushback, fly with Lua, these are for the airports. I've got SAM, I've got the Skunkcraft's updater, traffic global, X camera, X-Tras, and terrain radar. Those are my plugins. Yeah, it looks like the aircraft is now correcting itself in terms of the altitude. So we're looking okay. Let's set auto brake to 2. And we're pretty much, by the way, does the terrain radar work? Alright, looks like we're back on track. In terms of our altitude. Well, it doesn't look like any of this stuff is working. So, oh, there we go. That's the terrain radar. Yeah, like it is working. There we go. Yeah, it is working. Perfect. Yeah, we can see it now. Cool. What hardware do you use for flying honeycomb yoke throttle? I use the honeycomb yoke, but for the throttle I use I'm using the Thrustmaster Airbus side stick for this flight. Altimeter setting, actually, the transition altitude is 4,000 feet, but since this is complaining, we're going to go ahead and change it. It's 0909er. There we go. Right, we're looking good now. All right, let's see here. 200 knots, 3,500. Still looking all right. We are actually not too far now from the runway. I don't know if I want to buy this plane. Well, I'll tell you what, if you're having second thoughts, then don't get it. That's always my kind of my way of, you know, deciding on whether I should get something or not. If you're having second thoughts, then there's probably something that, you know, keeping you away from being fully convinced, so just don't get it. It looks like we're too low. Let's see here. All right, so we are on the final approach now. I think that's the runway right there. So let's go ahead and hit approach. Yeah, you can see the glide slope and localizer needles. Flaps 1, flaps 5. Wow, it just kind of, that's not right what it did, but okay. Wow. Why is it doing that? Alright, let's see what we can do here. Where is VS?
2,500.
Not sure what the aircraft was doing, but whatever it did wasn't right. So we are just gonna take over ourselves. Now it's trying to do... Alright. So now I'm gonna tell you guys, this aircraft needs a lot of work. Alright. Let me just take over here. Let's turn off the autopilot. Autopilot's disengaged. And I'm just gonna hand fly the aircraft. Yeah, definitely needs work. Definitely. The performance isn't correct. Still pretty high, but I think we should be fine. We are on the localizer, but the glide slope is off, of course, as you can see. But we should be able to correct that momentarily, I think. And flaps 30.
4,000.
Approaching 01 left.
All right, here we go, folks. I'm going to turn off the auto throttle.
500.
500 feet. 2 whites, 2 reds.
300. 200. 100. 50. 40. 30, 20, 10.
And welcome to Oslo, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, the final approach, intercepting the localizer and all that good stuff didn't work as expected. But yeah, I think the aircraft definitely now the aircraft doesn't want to steer on the ground for some reason. All right, it's all right now. Not sure what's going on. But yeah, for some reason I'm having trouble steering the aircraft now on the ground, so I'm using the toe brake to make the turns. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure why, but is it the brakes or something, or an error with some glitch with the aircraft itself? Don't really know. All right, let's retract our flaps. And we can turn off the landing lights, runway turn off lights, taxi lights are on, strobes are off, and wing lights are off as well. And let's go ahead and park the aircraft here. So overall, again, what can I say? The aircraft isn't worth the price yet. I will say it loud and clear and without any bias. It isn't worth the price yet. It's getting there. Needs some work, needs some fixing, and then it will be probably worth the price once all the issues are ironed out. But again, this aircraft isn't finished. It is not finished. And it's probably still in beta, and it has been in beta for a very long time. Let me fill the engines here, and let's go ahead and take a look at the replay of our landing.
Go, flaps.
Well, I'll tell you what, if the devs never claim that the plane is finished, then they shouldn't be charging what they charge for it. That would be my my reply. I think the landing was all right. What do you guys think? Yeah, it was very weird on approach. It did some really funny things, but again, I think it still needs some work. So yeah, let's do maybe a another wing view or something. Let's remove that. I think I programmed. Yeah, there we go. Well, they charge 90 for their A320, but it's a lot more complex than this aircraft. And yeah, it's got a lot more features than this. I mean, it's in no defense to. Nice. Yeah, I mean, if you compare the, I mean, you cannot compare the A320 by flight factor with this aircraft. For one, the flight factor A320 has a very advanced MCDU. It's got beautiful sounds, beautiful texturing, and it had all of that from day one. And they kept improving on it. But yeah, they did say it's a beta, but it's not like this beta. So there, the comparison isn't fair, to be honest. Yeah, the Rolls-Royce engine definitely looks good. I think overall, I've enjoyed this flight, and you know, the approach was a bit strange. I'm not sure what happened with the aircraft, but definitely it was a weird approach. But you know, the good thing is we were able to recover and land the plane safely here at Oslo. Folks, I hope that you've enjoyed this live review of the Magknight Boeing 787. Of course, you've seen all the issues with the aircraft. You've also seen the 3D modeling, the texture work, and in my view, I still remain, you know, a little dubious about investing $45 in this plane, at least for the vast majority. I did purchase this aircraft, by the way, twice. Just as means of supporting the developers. But yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you tonight. And hopefully in the next stream we'll be taking a look at either the SSG or the X-Crafts 145 or the E195. I'm not sure yet which one I'm going to do first, but essentially I'm going to do both of them. But I want to thank you very much for tuning in. I want to thank you very much for your support. And until next time, please take care of yourselves and each other. And I will see you all very soon. Thanks for tuning in, and bye-bye for now.